Hey, this is Daryl Olson from the Jackson Fishing Team again, and our second fly for saltwater for redfish or snook or whatever is called the blind chicken. And this is basically it's a pattern that is supposedly weedless, and we'll explain how that works. But it's basically got some yellow chartreuse, pink in it, just like electric chicken in a plastic bait that I think came out first with was DOA, and now ZMan makes it in that color and things like that. So let's take a look at the fly, and we'll get tying. This is basically Billy Trimble's blind chicken. He's from Austin, Texas, and it's could be a Clouser. It's got some bucktail, and it's got some deer body hair and some flash about it, and a beak and a cone head, and on there. And if you don't have to use these colors, you could make it, let's say for the Charleston area, which is very popular, is purple and black. You just want to make sure your thread and your cone maybe matches this color. This is for an upcoming trip I'm planning to go down to Florida. I've always had luck with this similar color pattern and other types of flies down there. And so I'm tying up some of these to give it a try. Anyway, maybe you'll do the same thing. So we'll take that out. And the hook that I'm going to use is, I've lost it here. Is a Gamakatsu, I believe, S811 on there. Oh, here it is. Oh, a TMC 811S in a size 4. And I'm using some Fly Shack brass cone heads, 3/16 in fluorescent green or chartreuse. And so all we're going to do is we're going to put in the bead, but you'll see that it won't go all the way through, and that's because on these saltwater hooks we'll have to debarb it to get that cone head around there. I suppose if you wanted to, you could tie it with a dumbbell eye or a bead chain, but I'm trying to make this kind of a lightweight fly so it sinks slowly, and there, see, that just goes right around on there by debarbing that hook. I'm going to use some chartreuse thread in chartreuse, fluorescent yellow, whatever color you want to think that is, but it's a chartreuse in a 210 denier. And we'll just build that up, and I'm going to go ahead and take this to the point of the hook, cut it off, and then to the barb, and just so I cover up that shank. Build up a chartreuse type body. We're not going to really put much material on there. And the next we're going to do is some chartreuse deer hair, either belly hair or deer hair. And this is, we're going to want to take a clump off, you know, maybe that much, whatever that works out to. Just this is what's going to help create the hook to be kind of barbless, or weedless, I'm sorry. And we're going to go ahead and flip this upside down because we're going to tie everything on this side of the hook, and these materials will help keep it somewhat weedless. And a little flea and tick type comb here, and take out some of the fibers. Now you can stack this if you want, but I'm not going to. After all, we are tying these are called guide flies. They're supposed to be pretty simple, quick, and we'll want the tips here just to go past the curve of the hook, and I'm going to cut off roughly half that distance right here of that bead head. And we're going to try to bury some of that behind the bead. Now, if you want to make it heavier, you probably could put some lead wraps in there, but like I said, I'm trying to make it so that in a shallow water it doesn't make such a big splash in there. Our next material is going to be some yellow crystal flash, and we're only going to need about maybe 3 fibers. You don't have to count them, but you know, if you get 3 or 4, that's good enough. Just you know, several, maybe the word would be several fibers. And a little hint, I just cut like an angle right here, and then I just pull out the fibers I want. That way I don't have to pull the whole material out of the plastic bag and then try to get it back in there. And again, I'm going to kind of wet this to give it so I can manage it a little bit easier, and kind of divide this in half. And then we'll trim off this crystal flash when we get the bucktail. So I'm going to use some fluorescent hot pink, but you can use pink bucktail. And you're going to want to grab so it doesn't flare so much about it here. The closer to the body you get to the end of the tail where the body and the tail meet, these are going to be a little bit more hollower. The more up this way, they're going to be not so hollow and they won't flare so bad. So, and you just want to sparse, whatever sparse means to you. Remember that less is always better when it comes to bucktail. It kind of will allow the material to move a little bit more. And again, we're going to kind of take out any of that under fur. And then you can stack this if you want, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab it here by the tips and then just do a quick alignment like that. And that's good enough. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go like 3 hook lengths on there. And again, we'll trim it off so that way we can get some of this hair to fall in behind that cone head. And then while we're at it, we'll just go ahead and trim this just a shade longer than that bucktail. Pull out any loose fibers that I didn't get in. That's probably coming from the shorter fibers that didn't get caught in the tying process. And then we'll just give it a 3 to 5 turn whip finish. Do that twice. We'll give it one more. And we'll trim that off. And put a little UV loon on there. And give that some finish. And there you have it. The blind chicken by Billy Trimble out of Texas there. So hopefully it'll be work for me down there in Florida here in June on a trip that I'm planning. Well, there you have it. That's the fly, and on there. Hopefully it'll prevent some weeds. I'm sure it will with that all that hair covering up the point and on there. And if, like I said, if you don't want to debarb the hook and do a cone head, you can probably get by and use bead chain or small dumbbell eye. So And try it in other colors. I might try some in some purple and black for here in the Charleston area. Might be a good color since our water's pretty dark. And maybe I'll catch a snook on it here in June when I go down to Florida. Anyway, this is Daryl Olson signing off. We'll see you on the water. Give that fly a try, and pretty simple tie. All right, see you on the water.